Hello traders, it's Stu Narpan here, founder of Master the Markets Illustrious Conference and a Traders Open Day. Welcome to our Market Roundup update today, and today is the 1st of February 2019. Okay, so today I just wanted to let you guys know of our performance so far on our trading floor over here. Just a little bit over, just under £2,000 here on the Euro dollar position at the moment. In terms of our gold bar strategy, which is an elite strategy over here. We'll talk a little bit about it if there's time. Today's main topic I really wanted to cover was the 3 common mistakes people make around news trading. As you know, today there was the non-farm payroll that happened over here, and you can see if I go into the 15-minute time frame, you can see the big spikes that are happening around here, isn't it? Look at that bar and then that one over here, right? So if people had a few stops here and there, they would have been taken out and then reversed, isn't it not? So what are the common mistakes that people do make? What I found over the 20,000 people that we've come across. So the first thing is that, especially in news, people just have impulse trading happening. Okay, impulse trading is the first thing. They just jump into a trade and they just enter without any clear plan. That's the first mistake that I've seen. So for example, if they just have a hunch, if they think this is going up like that, and then they just enter buy, okay? Or based just on impulse, no basic valid statistical reasoning behind it. The second thing what I found is once they've entered, they have not really got any risk management in place. They don't know where their stop goes. They just put it wherever they like to, and then when you get a big fat bar like that, you get stopped out in either way. Okay. And the third thing what I also found that people do mistakes is basically the target. Once they enter in and it's going in their favor, let's say like they jumped in short in here because it was going selling first, and then they do not know where to exit. Sometimes the greed takes over and they don't want to hang on to it for longer periods, and then only they want to exit. So they really do not know, and it suddenly reverts and then becomes a big fat green bar like that, right? So these are the 3 common mistakes I've seen traders do around news trading. Now, how do you overcome all of them? Let's go through it one by one. First of all, entry, right? Now, your entry can be based. Let me just give you a clue that you guys can start to work on. This is a very extensive topic, especially if you're doing intraday trading around news. You can definitely look at your stretch studies. When we did our bootcamp, we did a lot on this, and especially looking into the journey of a bar as well, on how a bar really actually forms, because we are the only one I would see so far, except for hedge funds and all that, and except for actually only hedge funds who do so much specific price study research. Okay, we do a lot over here at Master the Markets. So stretch studies is based on price itself. If you don't know anything about stretch, I would tell you all to go and look into Toby Crable. He did talk a lot about it, and a lot of material has been written on this as well. Okay, so that's on the stretch studies. So whenever you want to enter, base it on stretch studies and also base it on time frame correlation as well. Okay, look at your daily time frame, see where it is in part of the cycle. We talk a lot about swing moves, we talk a lot about bottom tops. I've mentioned this a lot in other videos, so definitely you can start to look into all that before you jump into a trade before news. Now the second thing is, actually before I go on the second thing, I just want to caution you guys that actually, to be honest, before news comes, the best thing is not to jump in when news comes. Just jump in. I'm not going to jump in. Is actually enter statistically and validatically valid. Okay, no, valid. There's no such word as validatically. Sorry. To enter on a statistical basis before the news actually comes. That's what we did actually on this trade in euro dollar. Okay. So that's one thing. So enter even before the news comes, because before the news comes, already prices already been locked in. Professionals already inside already with their money. The second thing, to eradicate the risk management so that you do know where your stop is going to be, where you should be stopped out and all that. How do you decide that? One thing that can really help you traders is that once you're in the trade, right? One important thing I mentioned before is that you never know. You never know whether you're going to be right. Okay, so get rid of that voice inside your mind. You're never going to know that. What you do need to know to place your stops in the right place is where you're going to be wrong. It's very important, this thing. This will keep your focus in the right place. So for example, if you enter into this, ask yourself, where will you be invalidated? Okay, so for example, for us, in terms of this the end of day trading that we are doing at the moment. So over here, if you take a look at this particular chart, we know that we will be wrong on the low of this bar. That's why we moved it to there before the news came out. Okay, so that's what we did over there. So when we look on the intraday chart and correlate it, of course that low will then be all the way here. But that's because on the outcome is going to be different. Of course, if you're intraday trader, you're going to exit within today, then of course, then your risk management and your trailing stop will be absolutely different. So before this bar comes into play, you got to ask yourself, where will you be known as wrong? Where will your trade be invalidated? Okay, and that's how then you base your stop loss on. Okay, so that's one over there. So that's how you get rid of the risk management and be tight on that. So ask yourself always where you're going to be wrong. Then the last thing on no target, on exit, okay, is people just jump in, no target and all that. So how do you overcome that? In terms of a good exit, always ask yourself, and I've talked a lot about this on open equity, how much open equity is left for the day, okay, if you're intraday trader. Then the way to answer that then, traders, is that you got to ask yourself, one of the important things for open equity in terms of intraday basis would be to look at the range, the average range that it does every day. It will cover it no matter what, right? So if you go and take a look in terms of the daily at the moment, let me just put this one up. If you take a look over here at the moment, if I put my cursor over yesterday's bar, the average is about 60 pips, right? Look at that. It's about 53 the day before, 60, and then if I put on today, 62. So it must be about 60 pips at least it will do every day, okay, for the last 10 days. Of course, if you go a bit more behind, then the volatility reduces. So take it from there. I would say 10 ATR would be a good one to start off with, okay? So that's what I would say on that. So today, has it done its range for you intraday traders out there looking to exit? Let's see. It's done about 52, 53 pips, 7 pips shy of the 1 ATR. But what we have found is that 80-90% of the time it would do 0.8 ATR, which is already not really actually even done that even, because 0.8 times 60 is about 48. Yeah, it's done that. It's done about 52 pips already, right? Yeah, so in terms of that, yeah, it's done that. 1 ATR, no, it's not. So keep an eye on that. But for those of you exiting on 0.8, yeah, you would have exited by now already. So just a quick recap on the 3 common mistakes and how to rectify them. 1, impulse entries, no stops and no exits. So how do you overcome all of that? As I already mentioned, in terms of impulse entry, look into stretch studies, look into time frame correlation on the daily and look at how far the swing move is. In terms of risk management, how do you overcome that? Ask yourself always where you're going to be wrong and then base your stop over there. I explained to you how we did ours. And then the last thing is exits. Look at open equity in terms of daily ranges and see whether it's fulfilled that or not for your intraday exits. Okay, I'll ask the same question for myself and I'm looking at the daily time frame. Okay, I guess that's pretty much that in terms of that, in terms of our topic today. Then in terms of going into our performance for the week, so let me just take a look at that. So in terms of our elite journal over here, so we got only one trade running at the moment for this week. So that's a floating profit, right? There's a floating profit over there of just a little bit under $2,000 over there. And in terms of close positions, what do we have at the moment? In terms of the LTM journal, the live trading mentorship journal, what we have is a liftoff system and we are currently down minus 0.25%. Okay, so minus 0.25%, that's about 18 pips, is just a little bit down of 180 pounds. Okay, that's for the week so far. Right, so I guess that's pretty much that from me in terms of this video. So we are hanging on to this. Our target is on the high, so we'll see how that performs. In terms of our market update, let's take a quick look on what the other markets are actually doing. Dollar still a bit indecisive, come back a bit down. Cable is going a bit more further down. Euro dollar is standing a bit stronger. And how about the other ones? Aussie dollar, let's take a look. Yeah, it's maintaining its strength. In terms of euro yen, yes, it's still consolidating behind this very big bar over here, which happened at the beginning of the year. And what else? Now let's take a look at the commodities. Bitcoin, yes, it's taken a fall, 3,412. Oil is currently in an uptrend. It's seen a bit of a good move so far. Our biggest really move throughout all of them, indices are still going strong, Dow and the FTSE. But the real best one is really gold, right? Look at the strength of it. Look at the open equity of it from the last low. So that's something that I was looking into as well. The strength started to show over here, and then that's when we got then the biggest open equity after that point onwards. Okay, so yeah, so keep an eye on all of them. If you want your highs and lows to be defined, definitely get in contact with us. We can definitely help you define that as well, okay? With the Smart Money Indicator. Alright, that's all from me for now. And as we say, till next time, stay disciplined, follow your trading plan, and keep trading like a master.